1994. The Roger Corman Fantastic Four. In the early 90s, German production company Constantin Film had the rights to the Fantastic Four IP, but they were about to lose it unless they made a film. Directed by Roger Corman, the film had a $1 million budget and it was shot in just a few weeks. Despite the circumstances, it was a faithful attempt that nailed the dynamics between the team. That group synergy between each member was sincere. It had a retro vibe to it and some charmingly questionable design choices like a foam rubber thingsuit and a plastic Doom mask. With a young Richards and Von Doom screwing up an experiment at ESU involving a cosmic energy source known as Colossus, which kills Victor. The movie skips forward 10 years, showing us an adult Johnny, Sue, Reed, and Ben trying to recreate the same experiment, which was just Reed suggesting they fly off into space and expose themselves to Colossus. His plan works, but the energy sends their ship flying back to Earth. This is how they get their powers, and Ben just wakes up with a foam rubber suit. They set up the Sue and Reed romance throughout this too, but it's subtle, and it's mostly just from Sue. Then, surprise, Doom isn't dead, but is out there doing Doom things, like dictatorship over a European kingdom. Meanwhile, the gang gets taken to a government facility for testing. Doom and Reed are both bent on getting to the Colossus energy first, but Doom's a lot more straightforward. He just sends the Jeweler, an original villain that was pretty good comedic relief, knocks him out when he doesn't follow orders, and kidnaps Ben's girlfriend to lure the Fantastic Four to his lair. The idea is, if he gets their powers, he can attain the Colossus energy. The movie never really delves into why, but hey, it's the 90s. From here on, it's a standard superhero experience, with a medieval castle and a climactic final battle with a lot of goofy wirework. For its time, it was pretty good, but the ship has sailed, and now it would be pretty dated. Still, this opened the way for the 2005 film, a cult classic. 2005, The OG Fantastic Four. The 2005 The Fantastic Four hit the theaters for real. A big budget with 20th Century Fox at the back, it had Iowan Gruffud as Reed Richards, Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, and Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm. This was family-friendly enough while still being massively entertaining, and a huge part of that was the brilliant casting. Gruffud made a great Reed, and Evans' performance as Johnny is a fan favorite to this day. It had a lot going for it, including great VFX and makeup, with one of the most memorable The Thing costumes out there. The plot was pretty straightforward, and the origin story was different from the 1994 one. Doom is now the CEO of a space exploration company. There was no experiment. Richard convinced Doom to come along with Johnny and co. to space to study a cosmic storm. The storm gave them their powers, but this time Doom was also there, and the film blames his Doom persona on the after effects of this, which was a choice that a lot of fans and critics didn't like. People hated that Dr. Doom, one of the most complex characters in Marvel, was reduced to an evil businessman with superpowers. While the 1994 might have gotten their gags and humor down, this one felt like a team of people confused after experiencing a life-altering event. Ben was broken up about his appearance, and that was a part that stuck with a lot of fans, and it's just one example of things this film did right. It might not get 10s from critics, but for the mid-2000s, it was a decent shot at depicting the struggles of superpowers. Unfortunately, that's where it ends. The overall plot wasn't there, just the characters. Dr. Doom was an evil lunatic to be evil. Plus, it immediately set up the Silver Surfer as the ending showed him reviving Doom, and honestly, committing to a second movie was the wrong call, because man, was it awful. 2007, Fantastic Four 2. Rise of the Silver Surfer. The next installment follows the team investigating a series of natural disasters caused by the Surfer. One of these hits Latveria, where Doom's buried, and ends up reviving him. No one is concerned about this. When they catch up to him, he reveals that he's trying to destroy Earth, but is enslaved by a cosmic force known as Galactus, holding the Surfer's planet hostage. Galactus, for one, was just a cloud, not the space behemoth that towers over planets. Just a cloud with a silhouette. The film completely glosses over him, his cosmic tragedy and enslavement, and Dr. Doom is again reduced to a generic villain. His plan was just going to the US military pretending to help after waking up. The OG Doom was way smarter than that. For plot reasons, this works, and Doom ends up going along with them on a mission to steal the Surfer's board, which, by the way, made no sense. The US Army should not be able to capture the Silver Surfer. That's just one of the many instances of the movie not really caring for established characters. The dumbest part is that the board just reacts to Doom for literally no reason, and he manages to steal it. Still, the film did have some fun ideas at least. Johnny kept swapping powers with each of the other members, and honestly, it was some of the best parts of the movie. Ultimately, it even ended up being what saved the day. After Doom stole the board, he escaped and the band assembled to take him on. But Reed realized that Johnny can do more than just swap. He can absorb their powers too. Johnny becomes a one-man Fantastic Four, and a supercharged Human Torch versus Dr. Doom with great effects and visuals is something no one complained about. But pretty action sequences and climactic battles don't make a movie. They just distract you from the parts it didn't do well. 2015. The Fantastic Flop. Reed and Ben, in the early days of their friendship, build a homemade teleportation machine that gets them the attention of Dr. Franklin Storm, who invites Reed to join the Baxter Foundation, a government-sponsored research facility for gifted minds. Reed meets Sue and Johnny Storm here, who are now scientists and engineers, respectively. Nice. Reed also runs into his old acquaintance, Victor Von Doom. The four of them work on the Quantum Gate, a device that can take matter to another dimension called Planet Zero. Johnny, Doom, and Reed, behind the government's back, attempt to explore this dimension, but it ends with a really surreal body horror approach to them getting their powers. Doom falls into a mysterious green energy, which ends up erupting everywhere, sending a blast that knocks Sue back. This is what gives the team their powers, but it's just unnerving. Reed panicking over his entire body being stretched out, and Ben's entire step-by-step transformation into the Thing, complete with the loss of skin, in particular. This is about where the film stops being good. The film jumps forward a year, and the team is suddenly locked in government facilities being experimented on. When a film like this skips ahead, it denies us the best drama a film like this can offer, the real challenges of superpowers. Instead, Reed escapes and abandons everyone, while Ben gets used as a covert military weapon against his will, and Sue and Johnny just hang out and train to be future military tools. Doom just randomly escapes from Planet Zero, and this makes the government call the team in because no one else can fight them. The movie was half good, half bad, literally. There was no meaningful plot development, no characters, the team was handled, and it had no action. 2025, the Fantastic Four MCU era. The Fantastic Four first steps have finally arrived in the MCU, but not like you'd expect. It isn't just a reboot. It's a full-on retro love letter to the original comics set in a stylized 1960s aka Earth 828 where Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben are already public superheroes. We kick off with a clever twist. Sue Storm finds out she's pregnant, and not just with any child. This is Franklin Richards, a cosmic level being destined to one day inherit the power of Galactus. Yeah, that Galactus. The movie skips the typical origin story. Instead, we meet the team 4 years after their space mission went wrong, a cosmic accident that gave them their powers. Reed Richards is already married to Sue, Ben's his lifelong best friend, and Johnny's the hot-headed younger brother. They've been celebrity astronauts before becoming superheroes, and the world adores them, for now. Reed's been tracking deep space signals since the spontaneous arrival of the Silver Surfer. 23 planets destroyed, one after the other. Then comes the twist. Galactus is coming, and he wants Franklin. Born with power he doesn't understand, Franklin hides his true nature from his parents and their tech. But Galactus senses him. He even induces labor, forcing Sue to give birth early. Enter Silver Surfer and, or in this version, Shalla-Bal, a tragic figure who once sacrificed herself to save her world and now serves as Galactus's herald. She clashes with Johnny Storm in orbit in one of the best action sequences in the film. And yes, we get Flame On, and it's clobberin' time. Galactus's goal? Feed on Earth, unless the Fantastic Four surrender Franklin. Instead, Reed builds a plan to trap Galactus across the universe without his world ship, buying time before he can consume again. The cost? Sue Storm dies pushing Galactus through the portal. But here's the real jaw-dropper. Baby Franklin, in the final moments, resurrects Sue Storm using the Power Cosmic, establishing himself as the MCU's next god-tier figure. And in the post-credits scene, Dr. Doom appears, played by Robert Downey Jr., scarred but slowly healing, possibly by Franklin's own hand. This film is packed with classic comic references, 60s retrofuturism, and deep cosmic lore. But at its heart, Fantastic Four First Steps is a story about legacy, family, and the burden of power. This isn't just the beginning of the Fantastic Four, it's the beginning of something much bigger. So that's the Fantastic Four's story throughout the MCU so far. We've had more downs than ups, but over the years, the Fantastic Four have still become a global name, and this might just be the chance it needs to pick up some steam.